So I've convinced myself that if Yasahime Princess Half Demon does well, that Rumiko will probably consider doing a Rama 1 half continuation. Or maybe not. Hi guys, my name is Maria Park and this is Approach the Nerd, and in this episode we are talking Yasahime Princess Half Demon episode 1 entitled Inuyasha Since Then. And that is exactly what this episode was about, at least most of it. We got to see all of our favorite characters from the past and basically 6 months later, so we're seeing what everyone's been up to since the series ended. And honestly, it did not feel like the series ended when I watched this episode, but I will get to that. I'm not going to do a breakdown of the episode because this is a spoiler review, so quite frankly, I think you've already watched it if you're watching this video. If not, maybe you should go back because it is streaming on Hulu and Crunchyroll and a bunch of other places. Watch it and then come back and then tell me what you think about this review and what you think is going to happen in the series. So, like I said, 6 months have passed for our main original cast. So, Kagome's still training with Kaide, Sango's doing laundry with her daughters and her baby on her back. Inuyasha and Miroku are off demon hunting together, which I think is cute that they have a little demon hunting business now. While the women are off doing their thing, they're off hunting demons. And this time they're dealing with a nasty root demon. And some of the scenes where the root demon is attacking people and eating them, pretty freaking graphic. And I freaking loved it. I also really enjoyed the fact that we had a lot of the same tropes that we had in the original series, or hang-ups, should I say, with some of the characters and how it affects them now, even though I know it's supposed to be 6 months later, like Inuyasha and Kagome and the Kikyo love triangle. So they find an arrow of Kikyo's, and Inuyasha is really not wanting to tell Kagome about it at all. It's like, oh, she's gonna be mad at me for some reason. She'll think I'm thinking of my ex or blah, 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 It's so funny, that whole thing. I love that she can still sit him with the bracelet and like their whole relationship is just adorable to me. Something that really interests me though is that Kikyo, according to Kaide, had decided that she was tired of killing demons. So she was just going to seal them. So now that makes me question how many demons are just sealed and how many demons are our new cast members going to have to deal with, like our new characters. Because yeah, there's nothing like your elders effing things up for you and you having to come clean it up years later, which is what I'm thinking is happening right now. But so this root demon wants the Shikon Jewel, does not realize it's destroyed, thinks that Kagome is Kikyo, so is basically going ape crap crazy trying to get Kikyo in the shard, or this crystal. And I kind of feel like this is part of a bigger thing, which of course it more than likely is. But like they do destroy the root tree or root demon, but it becomes a tree, and I don't know where this tree is. I don't know if this tree is related to how Towa, who is one of Sashomeru's twins, that actually, he is the one that gets sent to the future and is raised by Kagome's brother, which we have not gotten her whole story yet. I think that's going to be in episode 2. But I don't know if that tree is the reason she was pulled to the, back to the feudal times. I don't know. But I think there was a big significance in showing us that tree. So yeah, I have questions. So we've got a tree that basically is part of a root demon that Kagome purified and Inuyasha used, and I cannot remember the technique to save my soul. I know he used it in the TV series, but it's basically the one where it looks like you have a world ceiling. Like it looks like a bubble and a world imploding in on itself. And I cannot remember the name of that attack, but it is one of my favorites and it's very, very cool. But even the combined attack of that and Kagome purifying the ground did not destroy this root demon completely. So that's why I think there's something else going on. But before I jump into Towa and the future characters, let's talk about Sashomeru. So Sashomeru, if you know from the previous series, the original series, he left Rin in the village with Kaide and Kagome and them so she can make up her mind if she wants to travel with him in the future or whatever. We don't really know the full extent of what Sashomeru has in his head. And more than likely, Rin is the mother of Towa and Setsuna. And however you feel about that, whatever is how you feel about it. I'm not here to talk about that, but I just thought it was really funny that there is a scene where Sango is in the house with her kids and Shippo is there. And then we actually see Kohaku approach Miroku and call him brother, which I thought was adorable. And he asks where his sister is. And of course he goes, back to the house to help protect his sister and the kids. But when he gets there, he runs in, he's like, are you okay? And Sango's like, oh yeah, for some reason, the demon's not coming here. And then you see the next scene, you see Shippo on the roof and then Sashomeru is just up there with Jokin. It's like, and he's kind of like, yeah, Rin's pretty much in there with Sango, and so he's pretty much like daring the demon. He's like literally daring the demon to come. And I thought that was so funny. I don't know why. It was just like, this is the one area that is pure. You have been cleaned. And the demon never approached Sashomeru because I guess even he knew. F with Sashomeru. So I still love that even years later, I mean, I think we haven't seen Sashomeru in years. I think the show was on in like 2003 or 2004. Here we are in 2020 and Sashomeru is still badass. So that whole scene was like amazing to me. But yeah, I'm very curious to know what happened after the fact. Because again, this takes place 6 months later, 6 months after the original series ends. Then you fast forward 10 years, however many years, and you have Towa, back in, the past, in the feudal time. We don't really know why. And then we get introduced to other characters. We have her twin sister, Setsuna, who to me looks so much like if Rin and Sango had a baby. She's very soft-spoken, kind of calm, a little bit more like her dad. Towa is kind of like, she's also really calm. It's like, I remember when Kagome came to the Bone Eater Well and she was kind of freaked out and, very, animated with her fear. And then you got Towa, who's just kind of hanging out, chilling, saying, yeah, I'm kidnapped. My arms are tied behind my back, but, you might want to let me go because when my friends get here, it's going to be on, And she's just so she's so in control of her emotions, which I think is very interesting. And I also thought it was cool that the only time she really showed any real hesitation or a tiny bit of freak out was when they showed her textbook and the kind of aged, rusted, old bicycle seat that Kagome used to ride. I thought that was very interesting. I would love to see how their relationship plays out. We did not get to have any backstory or exposition on Towa or, anybody from the present day cast, I guess is what we're gonna say, the new characters. But in the preview for episode 2, it does seem that we are gonna get that because they also showed an adult version of Kohaku. So yeah, I think we're definitely gonna see more. And I'm really hoping that we're gonna actually have more explanation on what happened with Kagome and Inuyasha and where Sango and Miroku are, because if I remember reading right before the series premiered, Moroha, who is basically the spitting image of Kagome if Kagome was running around as Inuyasha, has her daddy's temper and her mother's looks. She doesn't know her parents, and I really need to know why. I want to know what happened. Is this related to the root demon? Is it related to the demons that weren't sealed? I really want to know. I am praying they're not dead. I was hoping we were going to get answers in this episode, but we did not. So I'm really, really, I'm kind of anxious to know what happened to the old gang because I love them. And like I said, this was so nostalgic, and I'm really hoping they did not just give us this wonderful nostalgic episode just to rip our hearts out in episode 2, but like saying, oh yeah, by the way, they were killed. That would suck. But there's so many characters we still need to see too. So I'm really curious to see where everybody is post, defeating Naraku and living their lives and, before the kids were born or as the kids were, babies. I really want to see if we have a lot of backstory and exposition on that because, yeah, this was awesome. This actually, like I said, played in a lot. It fit in very well in the sequence of the end of the original series, kind of like a segue episode into the future, but I just really want to know more. But yeah, I really dug this, and I love the animation. I love the fight scenes. I love the music. I love the flipping opening and closing of this series. I will have that on my playlist for sure because it's awesome. And I'm really curious and excited to see what happens with Toa and her crew going forward. So lots to look forward to. I will definitely be reviewing this show. So episode 2 will be around the corner. As soon as it premieres on Hulu, I will be posting it up. But I would love to know what you guys think. So please leave me a comment below and let me know. And if you would like to sign up for Jury Duty, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to know who's next on the Nerd Bell, hit the notification bell. Until next time, I can't wait for you to approach the nerd. Bye, guys.
Thank you for watching my video. I really appreciate it, but hey, the party doesn't have to stop now. Click on one of these videos and keep it going.